Don't forget to go to ashkicking.com for pound the best home health and beauty fragrance products.
Hi, you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo!
Yes, sir. Let me dig into your brain. Folks falling like rain.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So Paulie Malignaggi had a whole lot to say about this Pacquiao versus Horn fight on his Twitter account, responding to boxing fans. He talked a lot about the punch stats, and I'm glad he did because he made a lot of sense with what he said. Let me go ahead and pull up some of these clips of what Paulie had to say about this fight. He said, could have went either way. Going into 12, I was saying fight might hang in balance this round. Horn hustled it. He wanted it badly. He goes on to say he was fighting inside when Pac wasn't. He was grinding and throwing while Pac laid on ropes and spots. Hustle tactics. Now this is when Paulie Malignaggi starts to respond to fans about the punch stats. He said, you didn't watch a thing. The fact you gave me a CompuBox statistic to prove your point shows me you wasted an hour of your life you can't have back. If anyone relies on using stats as their argument in any sport, it's just evidence they can't articulate what they watch. Numbers aren't going to translate what happens in the ring to a person. If a person needs numbers or stats to understand, watch a different sport. Once again, right here, Paulie is responding to someone. He says, my point exactly about the CompuBox. It's a human pressing buttons. There's nothing statistical about it. It's strictly an opinion. Now that right there, what Paulie said, sounds like the exact conversation that me and trainer Virgil Hunter had when I was talking to Virgil about HBO's punch stats. And this is exactly what Virgil Hunter said. It's someone just pushing buttons. It's basically based on their own discretion. I'm paraphrasing, but he pretty much said the same thing that Paulie just said right there. There's a lot of things that Paulie said that I actually said in my post-fight video that a lot of fans, they don't really want to hear. What I never really understand is, why is it if you say the fight could go either way, these fans, they get so upset? That's a rhetorical question, by the way. But anyway, let's go on to another clip of what Paulie had to say on his Twitter. Now, there was a lot that Paulie said, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys this last clip of what he said on his Twitter account, because I've said this on numerous occasions when it comes to numbers. Paulie says, Americans are obsessed with numbers. They can't watch sports unless they are fed 1,000 stats. It's ridiculous. I've said this on numerous occasions on the radio show, which the show will be back, not next weekend, but the following week. In the next 2 weeks, we'll be back doing the show. But I've said this on numerous occasions. You have a lot of fans that always base predictions. They base almost everything on stats. First of all, there's a reason why boxing judges, they don't get to look at stats while they're judging a fight. And they certainly can't look at stats after the fight and then change their scorecards. They have to base their scorecards and their judging on what they actually see. You know, I did a video a long time ago on my old channel, Dante Williams. It was Dante562, now it's Dante Williams. The video is still up. It's an excellent video. It was about the HBO. I think it was titled HBO Punch Stats. It was for the first Bradley Pacquiao fight. And just to show you guys how off HBO was on their punch stats, I played an entire round and I counted every single punch that Pacquiao landed and Tim Bradley landed. And the coolest thing is you can actually watch it while I'm counting the punches. In one round, and this is the first Bradley fight, Manny Pacquiao versus Bradley, they had Manny Pacquiao landing like 30 or 40 punches, and you could clearly see he only landed like 10 to 14 punches. They were counting a lot of punches that Manny Pacquiao was throwing and didn't even come close to landing. And then you have the other aspect of numbers and stats that fans usually base their predictions and everything else on. For example, if they find out that one fighter is naturally bigger, the average casual fan will automatically say, oh, well, he's going to win the fight because he's bigger. If one fighter has more experience, like everyone was saying about Kell Brook going up against Errol Spence, they didn't even bother looking at how talented, how gifted Errol Spence was. They just went off of stats. Oh, well, Kell Brook has more experience and, you know, Errol Spence, he hasn't fought anyone, so Kell Brook is going to win the fight, right? Don't get me wrong. Sometimes stats like those are a factor. But the point that I'm making is you have a lot of these fans, they just base things solely off of those numbers. Who's the younger fighter? Who's the bigger fighter? Which fighter has been in with the bigger names, etc., etc. Something else Paulie Malignaggi said responding to one of these fans. Obviously, one of the fans, they said that something like, you know, Paulie just hates Manny Pacquiao and he's been biased, etc., etc. And Paulie responded by saying, oh yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. I just randomly chose a guy to personally not like. Paulie Malignaggi is absolutely right. It makes no sense. Why would you just randomly pick a guy for no reason at all? And I'll tell you something right now. It's something else that these fans, they really want to call Paulie Malignaggi. But they can't do that because they don't want to expose themselves. And a lot of you guys already know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to go ahead and end this video. That's pretty much all I got for now. I'm on to the next one, y'all.